Today we'll learn how to fix shaky mirrors on a Lamborghini Murcielago. Hello and welcome to the garage. One problem that Lamborghini Murcielagos tend to have is that the mirrors go shaky on them. Now this is a separate problem from the mirror motors grinding and braking, so that's a completely different issue. But this is a very, very simple one to fix, and today we're going to look at the procedure for doing that. Now the very first thing that you need to do is you need to remove the mirror. Now, I'm going to be working by myself here, so you'll have to bear with me and I'll have to cut back and forth. But essentially what you want to do is you want to take this mirror portion off. And so underneath the mirror, and you'll see it in a moment, there is essentially a round plastic piece with a bunch of clips that hold the mirror in place. So what we'll want to do is by hand, we just kind of advance the mirror and you go in with your finger, pop it in from behind, try to get your finger as close as possible to the center section so that you're not putting any leverage on the glass, and give it a nice tug and it'll come off. And then once it comes off, I'll show it to you on the bench, but there will also be two wires right over here that's part of the heated mirror portion. So let's get this glass off. So I was gonna show it on the workbench, but it's probably easier for me to show it this way right here so we can see the whole assembly. But this is what the mirror looks like when you pull away. You can see right here, there will be two wires, top and a bottom one. You'll just want to label which is which. I actually don't think it makes a difference, but just to be sure, just label which is which. And then you can see, kind of looking carefully, that there's a round, or over here, there's sort of like little plastic clips all the way around. And again, what I did to do this job, I got my fingers in. I'm using the other hand because I'm holding the camera here, so you can imagine my other hand, fingers in this way, and just move the mirror out of the way, put my fingers in all the way until I could just touch the edge of that circle, gave a little tug, and the whole thing came off. So not too difficult to do. So next step is to remove the mirror housing. So what I'll do is, on the next video when I come back, these wires will have been removed, so the piece of glass won't be here. And then you will see there is 1, 2, 3, there's a fourth screw down there. And there seems to be a piece of a loose zip tie here, so throw that away. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. We're gonna take those off, and by taking those off, it will allow this entire housing to be wiggled away. So when I come back, well, this housing will be gone, everything will be wiggled away, and you'll be able to see. So here we are, all 4 screws have been removed. So I'll just come in here, and you just lift this assembly out. Just kind of move out, and there you go. So that should identify the problem that causes the loose mirrors. And what it is, most times, is a loose screw somewhere. So I've seen these ones loose, or in this case, this assembly is loose here. You take a look. I can loosen that with my fingers. And the fact that that's loose is causing the whole assembly to rattle. So you want to get that tightened up, and that should be the end of the shakes. Now that everything's back together, we can have a look before I put the mirror housing back on. So having serviced everything, if we look closely, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 screws were all loose in one capacity or another. So I took them out. Now you want to be careful because this screw, and this screw are screwing into plastic. So you don't just want to torque them down. So I took them out. I put little toothed washers underneath, as you can see, to help it out, and a little bit of blue Loctite and tightened it up, so that all helped. This screw over here, I took the bracket, this bracket off, that bracket off, put some grease underneath, just cleaned everything up. And that one got a little bit of blue Loctite, but tightened, no toothed washer because it's part of a pivot assembly. And this one, again, both were loose in one capacity or another. Added tooth washers, in this case, on both sides. A little bit of blue Loctite, tightened it up. And if you take a look now, shaking it, and there is no movement whatsoever. So all of that rattle will be gone, and it was all able to be fixed without ever removing the door. And here we are all back together. In the last clip, I just misspoke a little bit. I said the job could be done without removing the door. What I meant was removing the mirror and the interior door panel. So here it is, nice and firm, no more shaking. And the last step, microfiber rag. Give it all a nice cleaning, get all the fingerprints off it, because it's impossible to do this job without getting tons of fingerprints on everything. Again, thanks for joining me in the garage. Please like, subscribe, and these videos are made without commercials as an enthusiast, so leave a comment. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions on the procedure. Thank you.